The early 2000s were a bit of a boom time for zombies, really. I mean, in 2002 we had the release of 28 Days Later, which kind of whetted our appetite for the undead, and then in 2003 a man named Robert Kirkman was about to satisfy that craving by throwing out one of the most popular titles that Image have ever produced.
It's interesting that you link those two because they actually start exactly the same way. A man wakes up from a coma to find that the world has been all but destroyed by zombies. In the case of The Walking Dead, that man is Rick Grimes, a policeman from a small town in Kentucky.
There are other similarities as well in terms of the themes that are examined. I mean, in a world overrun by hungry dead people, the greater danger remains the living. And as well as that, the effect that this crisis has on the psyches of the survivors is examined in depth. However, the zombies are completely different.
Very true, sir. Where 28 Days had screaming zombie sprinters, Walking Dead goes back to the glory days of shuffling zombie hordes that are deadly because of their single-mindedness and their sheer numbers.
And that allows the focus to remain on what becomes quite a large cast of characters. Once Rick catches up with his wife and son, he also adopts a group of survivors who look to him for protection and to lead them somewhere they can make a new life for themselves.
But there are worse things out there than zombies, and finding a safe place is not going to be easy. I would advise anyone getting into this series to kind of treat it like Game of Thrones. Any of your favourite characters can and will die.
Yeah, you get a bit desensitized to it after a while, which interestingly kind of mirrors the reactions of the characters in the story, who slowly become more hardened and brutal due to what they've experienced. Which brings us rather neatly to the violence.
Which, in this kind of title, you can assume there's a heck of a lot of it. Artist Charlie Adlard, who replaced Tony Moore after issue 7, doesn't shy away from some very visceral images, and I often wonder if the blood and gore would be more confronting if this comic was done in colour.
Well, Kirkman has said that the style was originally chosen, at least in part, for financial reasons, but that it also grounds the series in the grim human drama that it spends so much time developing. In a lot of ways, I think the series is better for the black and white look. I mean, it's part of what makes this such a unique title.
Yeah, and they certainly can't change it now.
No.
So, final thoughts, Al?
Okay, well, look, first of all, I would say this is not a series for everyone.
No.
I mean, it's not even a series for everyone who likes the TV show, because, I mean, there's a lot of differences. There are characters that exist in just one or the other, and it's also been fairly sanitized in its transition to screen. That said, if you like zombies even a little bit, you owe it to yourself to check this one out. It's amazingly brutal, but also very intelligent.
Yeah, it's the thinking person's zombie story, really, isn't it? Plenty of character development, but plenty of decapitations. It's really not hard to see why The Walking Dead has become such a massive hit, and I think there's still a lot of stories to tell. Well, there are characters still alive, at least.
One or two.
Look, I highly recommend you head out and get into The Walking Dead before anyone spoils it for you.